You have been thinking about the wonders of talent? Then you must listen to this.
Arch Jr. is South Africa's youngest DJ. He basically started DJing at the age of 1.
Imagine, as a woman, that you carry a child in your womb for 9 months, and after all that, your child is born with a medical condition or a certain defect. First, you are faced with long periods in hospitals and with lots of expenditure. In some cases, you become the ridicule among relatives and friends. That could have been the case for one family of Mr. and Mrs. Guma. Their son Godfrey Mwai was born without growth hormones, and they had to struggle to make him grow. This took them up to the United States of America, as they explained.
He was not producing growth hormones. He was only producing 5% of the growth hormone. So he was going to be a dwarf. So I took him to US for 9 years. Every year we would go to the hospital there. And as a result, you can see how tall he is.
That sounded a good relief because he could now grow. But something else was lacking. How could he learn? Worse, he could not even go to the shop alone. He couldn't be on his own. How would life be for him? This was a real headache until they meet Professor Godfrey Mwai.
When we were there, Professor told me that we need to find out what are his talents. So we went to that place in Parklands. We went to Parklands, he went through the process, and so it was saying he's good in music, and that's what he's been doing.
Professor Godfrey carried out a professional gifts and talent screening, and things began to shape out from there, as he explains.
This young man was born without growth hormones. So Godfrey Mwai, having got no growth hormones, gave a big dilemma to the parents. You can imagine a child cannot grow. So you've got to do all that you can, go to all hospitals, and they went all the way to the US. They could manage him to grow, but shortly they realized his cognition was very low. In other words, he could not go to a shop and come back on his own. You can imagine that. So he can't learn. So that became a problem to those parents. After we carried out the assessment, I found him to have great usage of the right upper limbic. We call it a limbic. The upper front lobe of the brain was very active. The rest were not very active. Those who know psychology is that we have to excite it to make the neural cells be active in the other areas. I can report to you today that with that support, Godfrey, after 4.5 years with us, can today leave South Sea on his own, take a matatu to Westlands and back on his own. Today, he works as part of a team in a musical concert. He can be able to work backstage. What is important for me, and this is what I told the parents, is not that Godfrey Mwai gets good grades, good education the way you want it. The most important fact for me was, can he be able to know who he is so that he can live independently? And more importantly, he can be able to fend for himself.
The educational system has really helped Mwai, and it is allowing him to move at his own pace, not at the pace of everybody else. And that in itself also allows the talent in him to come out so that he gets to do what he likes at his own time.
So, gifts and talent assessment is not for the gifted or talented, but a process that unveils your true potential, hence enabling you to make the most of the opportunities around you.